Hi, I'm Alyssa with the blog HarborHome32.com, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my personal health journey and my story with PCOS and why I do these things like cook from scratch, use natural products, and why we've started a homestead. That'll tie into the content that I have planned for 2022. For most young teens, we struggled with acne, irregular cycles, lots of different things like that, and those things are all very normal. However, for me, when I got into college, those things never really seemed to even out. I had pretty bad cystic acne on my face. I would have really bad migraines with my cycle, irregular cycles, and then also just a fluctuation in weight that was kind of unexplained. Nothing like super dramatic, but enough to where my clothes fit me differently throughout the year, and I would either have to buy more clothes or just I wouldn't feel comfortable in my own skin. It really started to affect the way I saw myself, the confidence I had in my own body, and therefore just my attitude towards things in general. I approached doctors about this throughout my 20s, but I was always just seen as a young 20-something that was going through a lot of changes, like finishing school, getting a new job, the stress of school, or just lots of different changes, which is true. My 20s was a time of a lot of different changes, but I knew there was something more behind it. It wasn't just those changes that affected my health, and so I had approached doctors about it, but it was always just kind of written off. Also, since I didn't fit the stereotypical PCOS profile, if you will, like I didn't have facial hair, I wasn't extremely overweight, different things like that, it was not something that was considered to be something that I had. The doctors didn't seem to feel like I needed an ultrasound or to get blood tests, and so they always said, don't worry about it, you're stressed, you're going through changes, it'll all even out eventually. Well, for me, it didn't. By the time I was 29, I was still struggling with all these things, and I was engaged and looking to start a family with my soon-to-be husband, and I knew if we wanted a family, I would probably run into problems because of my irregular cycles. However, the desire to pursue getting down to the bottom of whatever this was, fertility wasn't the only thing. It's really frustrating to deal with acne that hurts. It's not just like a vanity thing. It really is really painful. And then to have, irregular cycles and unpredictability throughout your entire life on something so simple as a menstrual cycle for a woman is very frustrating. And then also, like I mentioned before, the fluctuation in weight. It wasn't anything extreme, but it was enough for me to just not feel comfortable in my own skin, not feel like I knew what my body was doing. It was just a little bit out of control, I guess you could say. So needless to say, I pursued things on my own. I sought out a chiropractor, someone that I had met, and she helped me immensely. She was also in natural medicine. So we went through a lot of rounds of supplements to regulate my hormones as well. She talked to me about nutrition. I was a really big Diet Coke drinker, and so one of the first things she said was, stop that right now. If you're gonna have a soda, have regular Coke, and then try to drink as much water as possible. So things were trending in the right direction for me. I had seen her for about a year, and then I was experiencing some pain due to what I thought was PCOS, and so my chiropractor, natural medicine doctor, she recommended me to an OB that she knew to get an official diagnosis. So they did an ultrasound and found that I did indeed have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and the ultrasound had confirmed that, as well as some blood tests. Even though this OB that I found, she is in traditional Western medicine, which I'm so grateful for. She helped me along my pregnancy with my son. She also had some natural methods. She told me about a few books that I could read in regards to eating to support hormone balance in my body. And so that book, really, Eating for Hormone Balance, really changed a lot of how I think about food. That was so this book was a huge change for me. It kind of jump-started this whole journey of me eating more whole food, balancing my hormones, seeing what nutrients that I could add into my diet that would allow my hormones to be in balance and kind of reverse the symptoms or reverse my symptoms of PCOS. Nothing can officially take away your PCOS. I will have it for life, but there can be some symptoms that will go in remission if you treat it well. This book also gave me so many helpful insights as to environmental factors that affect our hormones, like estrogen, plastics and estrogen, toxic chemicals and cleaning products, and just so many different things that are just common in our environment, but that really do affect our bodies over time. This PCOS diagnosis really changed the trajectory of my last few years. I have dove headlong into all things natural, from whole food eating to natural beauty products, natural cleaning products, a more sustainable living, as far as wasting less paper products, swapping out my plastic for glass, stainless steel, cast iron. We started a homestead. We started growing our own food. We actually inherited chickens when we bought this house, and we've loved taking care of them. Their eggs that they produce have become a big part of our family's table, what we eat on a daily basis. It's a long list of things that we have changed because of this diagnosis that I have had. Even though I was diagnosed about a month or two after that, I found out that I was pregnant with our son. It was an amazing moment because I was basically told, okay, you probably won't have kids, or if you do, it's gonna be a lot harder. But it was such a wonderful gift to find out a month or two later that we were in fact pregnant. And our son was born. His name is Patrick. He is almost 18 months old. So even though I became pregnant with my son, I still continued this healthy lifestyle once I found just how amazing whole foods are. Once I eliminated all the extra fluff, focused more on natural things, I really fell in love with this way of life. And it has saved us a lot of money in the long run. I wanted to talk about my PCOS journey today because 1 in 10 women have PCOS. As I have come forward and shared my journey on Instagram and other just people that I've talked to in real life, 4 women that I know have said that they also have PCOS. So it is more common than you know. You may have PCOS and not know you have PCOS. If you are having any of the symptoms that I talked about, I would really encourage you to be an advocate for yourself. Talk to your doctor, or just wait and keep going and searching until you find a doctor that will listen to you about whatever it is that's going on, because your health is worth it. For women with PCOS, infertility is not the main issue. For some, obviously that will affect our chances of getting pregnant. However, it does have long-term effects as well. So for me, with my PCOS, insulin resistance was a big part of that. And adrenal fatigue. So those two things combined could down the road lead to diabetes or heart disease. For me, I don't want that. I don't want that for my life. I want to be able to manage my health well. And so there's still no guarantee. I don't know what my future holds, but I know that if I take what I've learned and I apply the best I can, I have a better chance of a long-term health. Now, why am I sharing all of this with you today? Well, this is my big why. This is my big why I cook from scratch, why I have tried to simplify my life, why we have bought this little homestead here and we are gardening and raising chickens and, I don't know, maybe one day a goat or a lamb or something, to make our own food, to be more of a sustainable property. This is why I love to make my own cleaning products at home, why I like to make some of my own beauty products, why I diffuse essential oils. There's so many different things that I do, or the way that we've changed our life is because of this big why that I have. Part of why I'm sharing that with you today is because those are some of the things I'm going to be focusing on in my content in the upcoming year, both on my blog and my YouTube channel. So you will see more whole food cooking recipes here on the channel, as well as meal ideas. You'll see me creating some of my own natural cleaning products, soaps, facial products, beauty products. I'll be talking a little bit about my daily routines, things that I do to manage stress and just manage my overall health. Another reason why I want to share all these things with you guys is because I think it can be something that is kind of daunting to think about. You get all these messages that kind of flash in your face like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this. That's not what I'm trying to say here. You guys are the ones living in your life. You know what it is that you need, what you have time for, what you have the finances for, what's important to you and why. And so I'm just sharing my story so that if it resonates with anyone, you can be encouraged, you can maybe learn a little something or be inspired, motivated to try something different if any of this is clicking with you. Lastly, I wanted to mention today is January 1st, and I have just put out an ebook called Sugar Detox Tips 21 small steps to eliminating processed sugars. That is something I created kind of out of this journey of whole food cooking, natural living. I've learned some things along the way. I had to do a sugar detox, and it was really challenging. It was kind of a cold turkey one, and where you go cold turkey, just cut it all out. And that was really, really hard, not very sustainable. And so along the last 2 years, I've realized a few things, picked up some tips along the way, and have created some of my own recipes that makes that whole transition a little bit easier. So I've put all of that in this digital ebook, and it's free. You guys can get your own copy. I've put it in the description box below, but it's 21 small steps. So it's not a cold turkey method. It starts out, the first step, for example, is determining why you want to do this. Determine your why. If you don't have a good reason behind it, it's not going to last. If you don't have a strong enough conviction or a strong enough reason for wanting to do it, it's going to be really hard to keep that going. So figuring that out is one of the first steps. You can kind of just keep that in the forefront of your mind as you're going about this life change. And then other small things like taking maybe your medium cafe latte order and making it a small, or the large soda that you drink, cutting it, ordering a medium and then ordering a small, and just like slowly eliminating those things in kind of a gradual step way is so much easier than cold turkey. I hope this video resonated with you guys. Please do leave a comment below. Just if you have any questions for me, anything that you're intrigued about or wondering about either PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, or my story, or eliminating things like sugars, or eating more whole foods or more natural living. Those are some things that I'll be talking about this next year, and I would love for you guys to engage with me in that. Leave comments, let me know. I will reply. I'll start conversations with you. I'd love to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. I have many upcoming videos on whole food cooking, simple and natural living, and hospitality. Thank you so much for ringing the doorbell at 32 Haverhill. Bye!